This is potentially big news, as it could mean that the new US Model 3 long range will soon qualify for the $7,500 federal EV tax credit, which it hasn't been eligible since it launched in January 2024. This is because the US Treasury Department on Friday gave automakers additional flexibility on battery mineral requirements for EV tax credits on some crucial trace minerals from China, such as graphite. And now the department said it would give automakers until 2027 to remove some hard-to-trace minerals like graphite contained in anode materials and critical minerals contained in electrolyte salts, binders, and additives. This will increase Tesla's demand, and if you like the idea of that, like and subscribe. Troy estimates that Tesla sells 8,000 Model 3 long ranges per quarter. He doesn't think it will make a difference for the Model 3 standard range rear-wheel drive, which is the most popular option in the US, that uses CATL's LFP cells imported from China. But if this goes in effect, there's gonna be almost no point in choosing the rear-wheel drive option because you will only save like $1,000 and you're getting quite a bit more range with the long range, although you can't really charge this one to 100% every single day. But it does come in really handy when you go on these longer road trips. So if this change goes in effect, the long range trim should become the most popular trim by far. Tesla Korea has raised the price of its Model 3 Performance by about $1,000. I suspect this is because the demand is good, and Tesla has started deliveries of the Model 3 Performance in Europe as well. The delivery was spotted at Giga Berlin. Oh, but I did a bit more research and turns out that vehicle is not a vehicle for a customer. But earlier, a sizable batch of Model 3 Performance vehicles was spotted at Giga Shanghai, ready for export. So it is coming to Europe very soon. In the meantime, Troy gave us an update about Tesla deliveries so far this year. Q1 saw a decline of 8.5%, or 36,000 fewer vehicles delivered compared to last year's Q1. And Q2 is expected to be worse, both in terms of the percentage and unit decline. So if Tesla exceeds these expectations, the stock is likely to rally. Q3 is unclear at this point. It could go either way, and Troy predicts that Q4 is very likely to have negative growth. Full year deliveries are also expected to be lower than last year. During the earnings call, there was a comment suggesting Tesla might deliver more cars this year than last, but that's unlikely because the gap will be too large to close after just 2 quarters. 1.7 million deliveries is a good estimate for this year. In the beginning of 2023, Troy was much more accurate than pretty much almost anyone else predicting Tesla's deliveries in 2023, so I would pay attention to what he says. But Elon sounded quite confident that deliveries will be higher this year than the previous year. So maybe he got something planned, because we know Elon is definitely paying a lot of attention to Tesla right now. A few more countries just reported deliveries. This is South Korea, and so far it looks pretty good. Of course, deliveries fluctuate by quite a bit, but Tesla should be able to build up a little bit of inventory now, removing these delivery waves. Australia is looking so far pretty good compared to the previous first month. It is slightly down from a year ago, year over year though. But a year ago, in some places, there were still issues with not having enough inventory, so sometimes Tesla would just dump lots of vehicles on certain markets and then leave them hanging for a little bit. So I think it's going to be slightly better to compare numbers to Q1 in this case, but if you want to be extra safe, compare them to Q2 of last year. And then we got New Zealand, but that's a tiny market for Tesla, so yeah, I don't think we need to pay much attention to this. Here's some good news. The US NHTSA said on Friday has closed a long-running investigation into the loss of rear-view camera images in nearly 160,000 of Tesla Model X and Model S vehicles. The auto safety regulator said Tesla's 2021 recall of almost 135,000 vehicles appears to address the risk presented by the failure of a media control unit and will continue to monitor the effectiveness of the callback. NHTSA said the MCU has a finite lifespan and believes that a 5 to 6 year lifespan expectancy for a component integral to providing the driver with safety functions is insufficient. Tesla said all units will inevitably fail given the memory device's finite storage capacity, the agency said. said. Tesla said in February that about 104,000 of the 135,000 vehicles recalled have been repaired already. Tesla layoffs extend beyond employees as internship offers withdrawn. And these students are no longer going to have their summer internships. Tesla hosts over 3,000 interns annually from universities around the globe. Some of them are definitely going to be upset because they have already secured summer housing, so that sucks for them. But some Tesla employees have taken to social media platforms like LinkedIn to advocate for the displaced interns, urging other companies to consider these skilled individuals for their own internship programs. All of this is happening as Elon Musk is trying to save money for Tesla and cut costs with layoffs, and not offering internships is a part of that. Even if you have interns that you don't pay, actually, when I hire people at first, it's more work for existing employees and for me because we have to watch them and look out for new mistakes and things being not done correctly. Takes my focus away and everyone else's. So if Tesla knows that it is not going to be hiring any people really, unless it's absolutely necessary, let's say over the next 12 months, I definitely understand this move. Tesla has added Quicksilver as an option, which costs $2,000 on the design studio for the Model Y long range and performance only, not for rear-wheel drive though. Previously, it was only available on cars in existing inventory. Little things like this will help with demand a little bit. Tesla is also doing more adjustments with the color pricing. Tesla reduced the Model Y's black color paint option in the US to $1,500 from $2,000. Elon Musk replied to this tweet, Delaware corporate lawyers are getting nervous. Does a shareholder vote control a company or does a judge in Delaware? If it is the latter, companies will move out of the state. The most controversial change seeks to allow boards to more easily strike direct agreements with a specific shareholder, a common practice to head off proxy fights. But the Delaware court this year invalidated such a practice at the investment bank Moelis & Co., which had given its founder veto power over nearly all of the standard work conducted by a board of directors. Well, it's too late now. It seems like Tesla is about to move to Texas from Delaware. Tesla has released new instructions on how to vote in their upcoming 2024 shareholders meeting in June. So if you want to vote online, choose your broker here and it will show you exactly what you need to do. Make sure that you vote because every single vote definitely counts. It could be a very close fight. Also, make sure to watch your mail because you might be able to vote by phone, or if you receive this kind of envelope in your mail, you can also just mail it. If you are using a broker that's not listed here, if you want to vote online, you will need to search for a specific email in your inbox, which may be in your spam folder. Try searching for each of these 3 terms to see if you can locate an email from your broker sent in 2024. And if you find an email, open it and follow described instructions. And for easy reference, if anyone wants to take a look themselves, I pinned this post on my Twitter profile. If you are with Merrill Lynch, you can definitely vote already. Same with Raymond James. And if you are in New Zealand, you can vote too. I suggest you vote for reinstating Elon Musk's compensation, unless you would prefer to have Elon Musk leave Tesla. Just if you do that, keep in mind that many investors like Jason, for example, said they would sell all of their Tesla stock shares if this vote doesn't pass. So a lot of dormant shares would enter the market if the vote doesn't pass, which could potentially make Tesla stock drop pretty much immediately. So even if you are a short-term investor, it's not entirely clear which option would be better for the stock in the short term. In the long term, though, I am strongly convinced it's better for Tesla to have that compensation package passed. Because I believe when Tesla reaches a point where innovation is a bit more difficult and Tesla becomes more stagnant, Elon Musk would refocus the company on being focused on innovation again. And when there's crisis, Elon Musk is very good at managing Tesla. He has proven that time and time again. And one could say right now, Tesla is going through a crisis of sorts, but Elon Musk is in the middle of solving all of the issues at Tesla right now. And eventually, I believe he will get it right. But in the meantime, of course, you are going to have people that are upset and mad at what Elon Musk is doing, but that is to be expected. Now, imagine if all the babies voting no were forced to sell their current Tesla shares at the 2018 price and pay back any previously recognized profits above the 2018 price too. I too would definitely love this. It only seems fair to me personally. For those wondering, Fred is actually a Tesla shareholder and he just voted, and he voted against Elon's compensation package. Tesla proposal to ratify the 100% performance-based stock option award to Elon Musk that was proposed to and approved by our stockholders 2018, which is a statement from the Tesla board. That statement is ridiculous, he says. They didn't learn anything and they are begging for more lawsuits with the way they are presenting this. Now, you can say a lot of things about Warren, but he was a lawyer. I believe he's retired now. And he seems to think that the new proxy statement is really well done. This is based on what Larry Goldberg is saying. The proxy statement is extremely well crafted. It's over 400 pages long, setting out in great detail in the process and logic by which the board and the special committee reached the decisions underlying these new board resolutions, and attaching all the relevant documentations, including the judgment in all its literary splendor. A leading law professor was also involved in crafting this proxy. It is also the best defense against a grant of the ridiculous $6 billion demanded by the litigants. When you have a position to uphold, you have to do this. And this is a genuine question for Fred. Have you read the 400 pages? I personally have not, by the way. I don't have that much time. So maybe these pages are not well written. I don't know. But from what I'm hearing, it looks pretty good. One of the biggest YouTubers, Marcus Brownlee, just said that Elon Musk is the greatest tech pioneer of all time. I don't disagree. I would like that pioneer to stay at Tesla, so that's why I suggest you vote to reinstate his compensation package. For those that have Cybertrucks but no FSD, yeah, this is promising. What is the Cybertruck doing? Just since Sunday, our Cybertruck has uploaded 24.7 gigabytes worth of data back to the mothership. It currently doesn't have autopilot or FSD, so what is there to upload? Probably FSD is running in the shadow mode, basically collecting data. However, his Model S with full self-driving only uploaded 28 megabytes of data during the same time period. Oh, I actually really like this update. Here are the new Tesla wiper controls. Tap the wiper button on the stock and then you can adjust the speed using the left scroll wheel. So you can actually scroll up or down to make the changes, whereas with my car you have to press the scrolling wheel left and right. So you can only sort of, yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but I like this a little bit better. Omar is hyping Tesla's FSD. I have yet to see one large language model that answers the prompt perfectly as often as Tesla Full Self-Driving Supervised does. He posted this 16-minute no interventions drive. He says you can enjoy your burger in peace. Yeah, I guess that's one thing that people will be able to easily do later as FSD especially gets better. Right now, if you drive and eat, that's kind of really difficult to do without FSD. But with FSD, people will be able to do it. I'm not suggesting that you do it now. Definitely not. You have to pay full attention for sure. But that's one selling point of FSD later on. And today, Uber has 6 million drivers. Today, Tesla has 6 million vehicles on the roads, roughly. Steven doesn't know why he posted this. He wants you to forget he said anything. Don't think about this anymore. There is nothing to see here. Thank you. It's also interesting how he highlighted these 3 letters, FSD. He swears this was totally an accident. Speaking of accidents, you want to be in a Tesla when it happens. I still can't believe these people walked away. Tesla launched V4 superchargers in Malaysia. It would be great to see more of these in the US, but with the supercharging team being laid off, I'm not so sure. I would temper my expectations for now. Elon is posting more on X. I think the ratio will be at least 2 for every human, maybe 3 or 4. He's talking about Tesla bots, as there will be many in industry producing goods and services, often for other robots in the supply chain. He's also making some more comments. This one is pretty funny. You would think he's joking, but he's not. Now, we know that Tesla had negative free cash flow in Q1, but so did Audi. And their negative cash flow is 768 million euros. I wonder, where is their full self-driving software. Also, Audi's BEV sales dropped in Q1 35% quarter over quarter, but remain slightly up with 3% year over year. There's some good news from Rivian. It has received $827 million in an incentive package from the state of Illinois to expand operations at its normal facility. And the stock in the last few days is up. It's close to $10 billion market cap again. But that $800 million is going to be divided over a period of 30 years. So that's about, what, $25 million per year? This is some crazy news. And eventually, Tesla will do the same thing, but it's going to be quite some time from now. Apple announces the largest ever $110 billion share buyback as iPhone sales drop 10%. And so the stock goes up about 7%. Although Apple also beat earnings. But yeah, the buyback is what people are excited about. This is good news. Some police departments are adding more Tesla vehicles because it makes sense from the cost perspective. Tesla Energy just released a very interesting Tesla Energy product library with a lot of technical details about each product and even installation guides. A lot of interesting stuff in there, so probably as people dig into it, we are going to hear quite a bit more about Tesla's energy products. Omar is pointing out something absolutely insanely ridiculous, and the policy is basically doing the opposite of what it was intended to do. The EV tax credit ended up being too hard for most EVs to qualify for, but applies to all plug-in hybrids. It is easier to make their batteries qualify because they are smaller. This has slowed EV growth in the US and accelerated hybrids. And we know that most people don't even plug them in anyway. So the few batteries that are made in the US are going into vehicles that don't use the batteries anyway. But these vehicles are now made much cheaper. This makes no sense. Unless you are a legacy automaker that lobbied for such policies. Tesla's latest Cybertruck update is supposed to make the frunk safer, and I showed you what happens with the banana.
Tesla's Cybertruck frunk is way safer. We witnessed it destroy a ton of vegetables, and then post-update did nothing. But it did cut off the tip of a carrot. So people are concerned, if you put the tip of your finger in a Cybertruck frunk, is this going to come off as well? Well, we're going to try it. Let's try something a little bit bigger first, like my arm. Very easy. It put a little bit of pressure. Nothing too bad. How about my hand? That's getting a little bit scarier. It put some pressure. There's a line on it. Nothing too bad. Everybody's been waiting for this.
Definitely don't try anything like that. That's just stupid to try. But he somehow did not lose his finger. It did leave a mark though. Cybertruck's lead engineer Wes commented on this. Front pinch detection is a learning algorithm which will increase the closing force each time it cycles back to back without successfully latching. Imagine there is a big bag inside the frunk. It might also trigger the pinch detection. Then you might try closing it again and again, exactly as you are doing in this video. The algorithm assumes that if you are repeatedly trying to close the frunk, it's because you, as the human in loop, know better and believe it should close. And now here's a full video from the Tesla board. I think it's important to watch it in full because even if you disagree with what they are saying, it's crucial to know what the board is thinking. But of course, I agree with the board 100% on this one.
I'm Robin Denholm, Chair of the Tesla Board of Directors. On June 13th, we will hold our annual meeting of stockholders. This year, we have two especially important proposals that we have put forward, and we need your vote. These proposals are absolutely critical to fuel Tesla's future growth and the value of your investment. The first proposal relates to a decision you collectively have already made. In 2018, stockholders overwhelmingly approved a CEO Performance Award that incentivized Elon to lead Tesla and hit ambitious financial and operational targets in 10 years. Back then, these targets seemed so far-fetched, so extraordinarily ambitious, that the skeptics called them laughingly impossible. If he failed, Elon was entitled to receive no salary, no cash bonuses, and no equity, that would vest simply by the passage of time under the award. But if Elon was able to make it happen, you and all other stockholders would reap the benefits. The award worked. Elon cut the timeline in half and led Tesla to hit those jaw-dropping key targets. We grew revenues from $11.8 billion to $96.8 billion, turned around profitability from $2.2 billion loss to a $15 billion profit, increased the value of the company from $53.7 billion to more than $790 billion, and oversaw groundbreaking innovations in artificial intelligence and sustainable energy. His success is shared by all stockholders. You saw the value of your investments increase nearly 1,100%. Importantly, the award also aligns Elon's incentives with yours over the long term. Elon is required to hold any shares acquired through the award for 5 additional years after the option is exercised. At this time, none of those stock options have been exercised. The 5-year clock has not even started yet, which means Elon is incentivized to drive the same growth that we've seen over the past 5 years for many years to come. Earlier this year, in an unprecedented decision, a Delaware court ordered the cancellation of the 2018 CEO Performance Award, which our stockholders had already approved by a large margin. As a result, Elon has not received any compensation for the past 6 years of service to Tesla, despite the astonishing growth and value creation he has overseen. We don't believe one judge's opinion should void the will of millions of votes cast by all of the owners of the company, and that's you. So once again, we are asking you to make your voices heard by voting for the ratification of the 2018 Performance Award. The Tesla of today is utterly transformed from the Tesla it was in 2018, thanks in large part to Elon's leadership and vision. We are on the cusp of our next great growth wave. You have seen for yourself what 5 years under the leadership of an incentivized Elon can do to the value of your investment. Protect that same value creation potential for the future. The second proposal we are asking for your support on would incorporate Tesla in Texas, our home state. Tesla is currently incorporated in Delaware, but Texas is our home. In 2021, we moved our corporate headquarters to Texas, and our largest manufacturing facility, Giga Texas, is also located in the state. Further, the board and I are also increasingly troubled by the growing uncertainty of Delaware corporate law. We believe the Texas legal system is strong and fair and more appropriate to our vision. We've received letters from thousands of Tesla stockholders, large and small, supporting a move, and we have heard you. We believe in your rights. We believe your votes matter. Delaware took away those rights and voided the outcome of your vote. So let your voice be heard and vote in favor of making Tesla's business home our legal home. These 2 proposals are incredibly important to the future of our company. We are asking you to make your voice be heard and your vote heard by voting for these 2 proposals. For more information, including how to vote your shares, please visit votetesla.com.
That's it for today's video. Make sure to click the like button so that we can make sure that there's no shadow ban on this channel. Here's another video from my other channel showing that it's only getting about half of the views it would normally get because my videos are only shown to about 50% of the regular viewers in the first few days. And then after the first 3 days, it does push it out a little bit more, but because it's no longer news, it's old, no one's interested. So I appreciate everyone clicking the like button. That really helps. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt Posthues, and I will see you back in tomorrow's episode.